Rhythm is the movement or the visual flow through repetition of elements within a piece of artwork. So repeating elements, and for this project we will be repeating the element of shape. So here you can see that the shape, which is a silhouette of a person, is being repeated, which creates rhythm and movement in this piece of artwork. The image can change. The shape is staying the same here in this one, but in one of them there is more detail. You can see the full image of the girl as opposed to just her silhouette in the other four shapes. In these examples, you also see in the background there are also shapes, but they have random placement instead of consistent flow like in the foreground, which is the reason why the background doesn't have very much movement or rhythm. You can see that how close or how far apart you place things and which ones you choose to put on top or on bottom can affect the rhythm and movement. For your project, you can choose to use a silhouette of yourself or one that you find on Google or a logo like this one. The colors in which you use are also important. Using two blues and separating them with an orange changes the way that the movement happens in this piece of art. In this example, the shape is different, but it is similar enough to where you still are creating movement and rhythm. That all of them are basketball positions, and all of them have a basketball in their hand. All of them are moving, and the placement of them across the paper help to create the movement. You will also notice that the background also has movement with these shapes that change in direction, but it is a similar shape. In this video, I'm going to show you how to create this type of movement. I chose to use graffiti as the silhouette. You can Google silhouettes and you will find many different available images already. You can also create your own if you like. Project, I went to Google and I just typed in graffiti silhouette. That gave me a lot of different options. I found this image here that I like the most. So I took that image, I saved it to my computer, and I took it in so that I could make it larger. And now I'm just going to trace it right off of the computer. There, now I have my image traced onto my paper. There are several different ways that you can trace an image. I'm going to show you one more way. Okay, so I have a phone that has a flashlight on it. Okay, because I need to produce some light. And then if you have a piece of glass, or like I have here, as a clear shelf, you can create a tracing table like this. You could use this if you were tracing an image that's in a magazine or a newspaper, or if you find a silhouette somewhere other than on a screen. Now that I have my image traced in several different colors, you can cut it out with scissors, but I'm going to use a cutting board and an X-Acto knife. This will help me to get into these very small spaces to get this cut out nice and clean. Using an X-Acto knife allows me to cut through several pieces of paper at the same time. So that I can get all of my images to be the exact same. Okay, up until this point we have not been very creative. We copied the image straight off of Google. We traced it and we cut it out. But this is the point in which you're going to be creative in your composition and how you lay your pieces out. Okay, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these two different silhouettes. And now I'm going to be creative in how I lay them out on my paper. I can have them very close together, like you see currently, or I could have them more spread out. Okay, I could have them in different places. I could have them opposite. I could flip one of them over and do it backwards. Okay. So now is the time where you're going to be really creative, figuring out how you're going to create rhythm. So when you're creating rhythm, you want to keep in mind that it is an order to things. When you think of rhythm in music, there's a steady, continual thing that you know what's coming next. Okay, so it has some type of order to it, and so one way to order things is putting things the same. Okay, so each one being on top of the one behind it. Okay, so I have each one on top of the one behind it, and then also I connected them at the foot. There's many different ways that you can create rhythm. It doesn't always have to be connected. It could just be that there's an even amount of space between them. However you would like to do it. Now, one thing that I am going to also consider is what else is in my background. Okay, so right now I have nothing else in my background, but I have already thought about what I want to be in my background, and I wanted to go with the graffiti, okay, that I chose for my images. So you'll see that I created a background that has graffiti marks, it's got dripping paint, okay, and now with that background, I'm going to decide where I'm going to lay these pieces out. Also, the order of the colors makes a difference as well. It's up to you how you want to order them. Changing which piece is on top also changes the way you view rhythm. Okay, so I think I found the composition that has the best movement and also works with my background the best. Okay, so I had to take into consideration what was in the background, and then also where my pieces were in order to create the most movement. Okay,